Open up the Reddit, shred it, spaghetti it. Am I
an
the
asshole?
asshole for calling my wife fat? It's
How are we starting with that one,
it's
bro?
quite
God
quite a
damn.
long story. So
Okay.
we're gonna jump right in it. I, 34 am, work in a physically demanding field. Myself and my coworkers are all fit people without a lot of body type variety. My wife, 32F, is fat. That's what it literally says. Look at it. There. We just straight up
see
says it.
that.
Straight up says it. The thing is, she's always been fat. The whole time I've known her.
You don't got to tell me the rest of the story. He's wrong. Period. No. That's it. Don't read the rest of it. We're done. The moment you said he met her when she was big and he got a problem with it, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You're done. You're cooked.
You don't want to read.
You met no. I don't want to read it. I hate this man already. You met her when she was big and now you complaining. Shut the fuck up.
All right. So
No.
there's
If
an
you want
update.
her to lose weight, go to the gym with her. If you're such a fit person,
There's an
and if she
update.
doesn't want to, God forbid, you make her do a little bit of exercise here and there. And if you don't, leave her.
Favorite.
If you're that upset about fucking weight,
favorite, you're breaking the audio.
what up? Go ahead.
There's an update, and I'm gonna read it, but I think we have to read the whole thing. It says,
okay.
"So I met with HR at 4 p.m. today."
Okay.
So I wonder how the fuck did we get there?
His job, remember?
I know,
Fit people.
but how did we get there?
Probably-
How is
he-
HR involved with his wife?
He probably told somebody at work about his wife.
The whole time I've known her, we dated when she was fat. We got married when she was fat. She knows she's fat. That's a wild sentence to
This guy sounds like an asshole. I'm gonna be real with you. I think he is the asshole.
Yo,
if I'm being
he
real.
might be. He's not doing himself any favors. She knows she's fat and she's beautiful. I'm happy if she loses weight. I'm happy if she stays where she is. I
then what
think
the fuck
she's
is
the
the
most
problem?
beautiful woman in the world as is.
So what's the problem?
So why you writing this? Ooh,
Just to
get-
shit on his
Let's
wife?
get spicy.
Is that why he did it?
One of my coworkers, Julia, 28F, started complaining that she's too fat to be loved, I think. And fat people don't get to be loved. Julia's
Ain't
going
no way.
crazy.
Julia a bitch too.
Julia isn't fat. She's maybe 120 pounds. She works out 5 times a week and barely eats. I told her that wasn't true and that my wife was fat. She got really red in the face and started telling me I wasn't allowed to call my wife fat, that I was insulting her and my wife was beautiful and curvy. Ooh. Carol I guess is the wife, doesn't like being called curvy. She thinks it's a label used to avoid calling people fat because it's a dirty word to most people.
How is it?
I told Julia just as much. I beat her to the punch and called my wife, put her on speaker, and asked if she was curvy or fat. Carol laughed and said, I hate that curvy shit. Fat and beautiful, baby. I thanked her and I told her I love her and hung up. As soon as I hit end, Julia went mental. She started screaming that I was abusing my wife. When I asked how, she said I was clearly brainwashing her
All right, now this Julia bitch sounds like a maniac. Too.
into accepting the term fat to try to keep her complacent and from getting away from me. So I guess she's saying that he's letting her be there so she can't leave him. That no woman in her right mind could be okay with her husband calling them fat. I showed her a picture of my wife in a shirt that had BBW on it. She bought it for herself, by the way. She stormed off and hasn't spoken to me since. Now, I just walked in today to an
And now he's in
email
trouble
from
because he called his
HR
own- oh my
requesting to
God.
meet with me. I don't think it's a big deal. I have my wife's blog for fat positivity, the shirt, and can easily call her for proof, but now things are frigid at work. And Julia constantly giving me dirty looks when we're
Julia
in the
need to
same
mind her own
room.
fucking business.
She ignores me otherwise. So, I'm just over here scratching my head. Am I the asshole for calling my wife fat? So now that we got the whole context, Fabian, are you still hate this guy?
I said don't fuck with that guy at all.
Okay.
But I also don't fuck with Julia either.
Fucking
Julia's a maniac.
bitch.
Why is she so involved in someone else's relationship?
Why she care so much?
That's what I'm saying. Who
All right.
cares?
So, edit. So I met with HR at 4 p.m. today. Apparently, multiple co-workers who had overheard the conversation
Why do people care what he calls his wife?
stopped by HR throughout the day to give their side / weigh in. When other people get involved, it's a little bit
It's ridiculous.
tricky. I wasn't in trouble. They just wanted my side of things. It checked out with everyone else had said too. I still don't know which of my crew stopped by, but I owe them my life. I offered to show my wife's blog, and our rep, who's a really nice girl, told me if it didn't affect my work, it was irrelevant. The story had been corroborated enough by others. HR reiterated a lot of what y'all said. Even though Julia initiated the conversation, I shouldn't have jumped in. It was less of a scolding and more of a request to keep my nose out of other people's business. So I guess a lot of people were probably like, yo, maybe you shouldn't have even gone involved with Julia in that conversation to begin with.
But even then, why does it matter?
I
Why
don't-
does Julia care so much what relationship that whatever this man has with his wife? Why does she care? And why does anyone in his job care?
Because Julia swears she's fat. No, I think the job, people at their job were defending him. Like, without him asking, they're like,
I
hey.
thought they were also getting on this case. I'm like, why do y'all care, bro?
Nah.
It's him and his... Like, if his wife has a problem with him calling him fat, she can either, one, lose weight, right? If she wants
Or
to.
leave him.
Or leave him, right?
Facts.
Like, yeah. Like, if whatever he's doing is that bad, I'm sure his wife wouldn't be with him,
Yeah, with him.
right? And if
Like,
he
she
called
wouldn't
her...
accept that, right?
Exactly.
Any woman
for
who loves
Julia to
themselves.
be like, no, I know what's right because as a woman, I know what all other women
I know
want.
best.
It's ridiculous to me.
I know more than you.
No one knows how other people's lives keep. Mind your own business. That's the moral of the story. And stop calling your wife fat, dog. That's weird.
That is kind of weird.
There's nothing like, if anything, that word is way more negative connotation than curvy. There's nothing wrong with the word curvy. Why is that so negative? Because of the body positivity
I think the
thing?
wife just doesn't like the word curvy. I don't think it's anything he does. I think the wife just is like, that's an excuse.
But
to
she
not-
likes the word fat.
I think she'd rather be called that than curvy, because curvy could feel like that's
What?
just a sugar coated word for fat. Like, just straight up call her that.
No. There's difference. You don't
I don't know.
you don't know there's a difference between the two words?
Apparently, the wife doesn't know. She doesn't
Whatever.
know. She
I
doesn't.
feel like fat is way more disrespectful, even if she doesn't see it that way,
Yeah.
than curvy. I don't think curvy is a, what is it, like a
Derogatory
blanket term
term.
for fat. If you're calling someone curvy because as a
curvy individually.
as a replacement for the word fat, you're using the word curvy wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Learn the English dictionary better.
Okay. I'm sad because I thought Julia and I were friends.
Fuck that bitch.
We talked about our mental health struggles, the hardship of the field we're in, and heavy things like that. Won't be having these conversations any further. Julia and I will no longer be paired on teams for patient care. I was told my part in the investigation was done, and they thanked me for my time. So I think I'm going to be okay. Before I left, I told HR if weight loss / body image wasn't supposed to be a topic of conversation, they should consider enforcing that on a company level. We have a weight loss challenge. I suggested making it a fitness challenge instead. She said they take it into consideration. So that's it. I wrapped up my treatments. Everything will hopefully shake out. Haven't spoken to Julia, hoping to avoid her for the near future. Thank you all for the sanity check. And now, to quote Clue, I'm going to go home and sleep with my wife.
Again, Julia's a maniac and she a bitch for even think. The fact that her opinion was based off the fact that she thinks fat people can't be loved is insane to me. Like, what?
Yeah, that is kind of great.
What? Really? That's the argument in your head, that you can't wrap your head around the fact that someone can love someone who's bigger?
You're like, nah.
Out of my face, bro.
I can't be accepted. I'm
That's
120
ridiculous.
pounds.
You can love someone who's big. Fat, curvy, whatever the hell word you want
Whatever
to
you
use.
want to call it.
They deserve love just as much as
You're
anyone
lovable.
else.
Let me read some of the comments to you. Somebody said 100% not the asshole. If your wife likes the term fat or not,
No.
she's probably an amazingly beautiful woman. If she calls herself fat and has shirts like that, and she's okay with you calling her fat, what's the problem?
I agree. It's between him and his wife. But he shouldn't be openly... Like, if he knows what the negative connotation of the word fat is, right? And no one else has the context between what him and his wife have, right?
Yeah.
It's between them.
Like, if I'm talking to you about
Yeah.
my fat ass wife, like the
Yeah.
guy's
I'm immediately going to be like, nigga,
No, no, no.
relax.
If I'm talking to you, like you know the
Yeah.
context, right?
Yeah.
Let's say fucking Julia walks by. She's
Yeah.
like, ugh, can't believe he called her wife fat.
Yeah, but it's none of her business.
But it's pretty cool that everybody else was kind of like defended him. He was like, yo, yo, yo.
So that means everyone else knew the context to it?
Maybe.
But Julia?
I mean, Julia probably just a hating ass bitch.
That's what it sounds like,
If
right?
you think, like,
It sounds like it. It sounds like she don't like fat people, if anything. She need to go get her fat phobia checked
someone
out.
said, not the asshole. Julia can accept her, but your wife can. Don't let her try to say anything else.
But I don't like that no one's bringing up the fact that this man really just calls his wife fat constantly.
Someone said, not the asshole. Your wife was fine with being called fat, and Julia should have been fine with that.
I get whatever relationship they have to each other, but that fat thing is crazy to me.
Someone said, Julia is a bitch. Your wife is fine. You're fine. Carol is weird, not the asshole. Who the
I think
fuck is
they're both
Carol?
the asshole.
Yeah. Julia sucks ass.
I agree. But I also think he should learn how to fucking communicate with his wife better and stop using that word.
Not the asshole. Your wife is comfortable in her own skin and you are using the language that she prefers. That's absolutely fine. Your colleague is one of those people that, as a fat person myself, grinds my gears. There's nothing wrong with being fat or using that language. If you're comfortable in doing so, you've done nothing wrong. Not the asshole. Julia is simply pushing her insecurities onto your wife, which is such a bizarre thing to do. Your wife loves herself and Julia does not, and they can just stay separate from each other.
See, but now this guy, no. What the hell is he talking about? Insecure. She hadn't.
No, he's saying Julia, the skinny bitch who thinks she's fat and that fat people.
You think
don't
the skinny
deserve love.
bitch thinks she's fat?
No, that's what it said. She's like,
No.
That's what the post
Just
said.
the skinny bitch is fat phobic and she doesn't like fat people.
She said
and she thinks
Julia,
fat people don't deserve to be loved.
28F, started complaining that she's too fat to be loved, and fat people don't get to be loved.
She's too fat?
Yeah,
I thought she was
Julia.
complaining about his wife was too fat to be loved.
No, she's complaining about herself, and he says maybe
She says one.
that
He said
she's
she was 120.
Yeah, so she's definitely
Not fat.
fat phobic as fuck though.
That must be fat phobia because 120 isn't even big.
She was like, I'm too big. I breathe heavy walking up the
Ridiculous,
stairs.
bro.
But that's
Yeah,
everybody,
Julia's
though.
a maniac.
Julia is a maniac.
Go get some help, girl.
So
That's
who?
internalized fat phobia that probably your parents gave you.
So Julia's an asshole.
Yep,
The husband, is he an asshole?
I think so.
He's an asshole. The wife,
I think so. No,
Asshole.
what? The wife isn't an asshole. What did she do in this situation besides confirm that the dad does the husband does speak to her this way and she's fine with it. That's it. That's all she did. What's wrong with that? And I mean, whatever. If she's fine with it, she's fine with it. But I still think that like
as a man,
as
should
someone
be.
who was really big at one point, right? I don't mind the word fat. I knew I was fat. I would call myself fat. I don't mind it. But if someone outwardly who I cared about would be like, "You're fat," it doesn't feel good, even if you know you are. And as much as his wife is like, "Oh, I love that word," maybe
you
because
though?
you've gone years being called it, but I don't think it's a.
Do you?
Even the definition of the word fat isn't that nice of a word of a definition. Why would you want to be described as that? Even if you are
Yo no
technically
sé.
bigger than people.
Yo no sé cuál.
I don't know, bro. I feel like people take way too much.
Yo no sé Liverpool.
People care way too much about other people's bodies. Shut up.
Okay.
Worry about your own.